It's interesting to see some of the picks that some of our jury members are going to impose upon you tonight.
Everybody picked essentially 3 artists and 3 example songs of an album that each member is going to advocate for. Kathleen Edwards, her new record is called Voyager, and she was previously shortlisted for her last record, Asking for Flowers. So do you want to talk a little bit about why you chose Kathleen to speak on her behalf?
I think even before the record came out, a lot of people had been sort of speculating about it because of the connection of Justin Vernon from Bon Iver. There's been a lot of talk about how she's changed her sound and it's kind of moved on from the alt country type of Americana sound. But I mean, as someone that's been following her for a while, I just actually hear it a little bit differently. Through my ears, it's more of the maturation of what Kathleen Edwards has been doing for a really long time now. Great songs, as a lot of people have probably read by now. Her record kind of centers around themes of loss, and she went through a divorce. It's funny, I have friends that almost can't listen to the record because they just find it so emotional, and it resonates with them so strongly. To me, I find that amazingly, what could have been a really melancholy, really heavy record, because of the way she's approached the songs and the melodies, it doesn't come off as overly dark or really sad or really depressing. It's, in fact, some of the melodies are among the most earwormy and catchy she's ever written.
Kathleen made a big impression on me sort of out of the gate with the first couple of songs that surfaced, and the thing that I found particularly beguiling about her about that time, even though I thought, and probably this is much more developed now, at the time I kind of thought her songwriting wasn't sort of fully gelled, but what she did have was this really amazing vulnerability on record,
right,
which I feel like in the songs that I know from this record, I feel has kind of receded into the background some, and I kind of miss that. I kind of miss the creaks and cracks in the bigger production style that she's adopted with this.
One of the artists that you're advocating this evening is probably a little less known to the average Canadian music fan, from Montreal, the Barr Brothers, and this is their debut record.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to maybe talk a little bit about them. And,
Sure. I think that they've channeled a lot of their more random jam bandy tendencies. They've channeled them into a very tight, coherent, and cohesive sound. And this record it's kind of like it's got a neo-folk thing, but it's also got really interesting African influences that run throughout it, and they don't seem to me to be tacked on. They never, in fact, feel tacked on. They feel very much an organic part of the record, and I see that as very forward-looking and not in a Gracelandy kind of way, but in a way that demonstrates that these are people that have spent many, many years living inside this kind of stuff. I mean, to say that this album reminds me of some kind of bizarre hybrid of Bob Dylan and Ali Farka Touré is not that far off.
These guys, why haven't I heard them before, And there also seems to be something about Americans moving to Montreal and creating these amazing bands, so there you go. But yeah, I mean, as Stuart said, they're doing something really different and something that's really their own, and I mean, they played Letterman recently, and just to watch them and see what they do and how they do it, it's just pretty amazing.
As what I hear as kind of their voice beyond the exotic borrowing, going on is. I'm kind of like, oh, and then they're kind of singing blues jams off of it. And I mean, there's other stuff going on. There's more emotional stuff going on than in the bits that we're hearing and that kind of thing. But it's the part that pulls me away from it. And it's definitely as like somebody who has a bit of an allergy to anything that smells of patchouli.
Speaking of people trying on new guises and new faces, new sounds,
I'm so curious where you're going with this.
one of your choices has made quite a series of musical transformations in his career. Sandro Perry's new record, Impossible Spaces.
And this new record, Impossible Spaces, which has been brewing for a while, I think it's maybe 3 years between those records, is very much a band record. And to me, it's my favorite of the three things that I'm talking about tonight. And to me, the one that I would be most outraged if it didn't end up on the shortlist this year. Because I really think it's kind of an unusual breakthrough record for an artist in Canada. The song that we're going to listen to is one of several songs on it that we're going to listen to part of that are sort of 8, 9, 10-minute suites. And these very elusive melodies weave their ways in and out with Sandro's very beautiful voice. But what you're also hearing, and to take back a little bit of entirely anti-jam sentiments, is a really rhythmic interaction of musicians, but that's being sculpted and shaped in a way that the sort of modules of the song are coming into view. It's almost like sort of a rotating platform.
Yesterday I was sure I was losing my skin. The sting of salt, the thrill of devotion. That's the one I trust.
I think that one of the things that Polaris is so great at is demonstrating so much of what's going on that is obscured to us. Even though I also work as a critic and I hear a lot of new stuff, it provides new contexts for these things and presents music to me in a new package of intelligent views, basically intelligent people presenting it in a way that causes me to reevaluate it or spend more time with it.